I heard a quote the other day and it said, "The bravest thing I've ever done was to continue living when I wanted to die." The bravest thing that I've ever done was to continue living when I wanted to die. And that was by Juliette Lewis. Most of us were rocked by the sudden death of fashion designer Kate Spade because many of us own a lot of her products. And then we immediately, and I know that I did, begin to ponder the thought, what could have been the reason? She's rich, she has a loving husband, a child, and she has all of these wonderful things. Why would you want to take your own life? And then in that very moment, I had to take a mirror and look at myself and ask myself, why are the reasons that I too suffer with depression? And I always say, if you meet a person that says they've never experienced depression, you're meeting someone that's just simply being untruthful, because the reality is that every last one of us, any person that's even an adult, even some teens and kids, have struggled with depression because it is very real. There are things that occur in our lives that we simply have not been able to step over the hump and to make it through. It's a serious situation that we deal with, but for many of us, we're known as the vibrant, the exuberant ones in the family, the loving ones in the family, the ones that's always talking everybody else off the ledge, when we ourselves are standing at the tip of the edge. Earlier this week, I began to experience a level of depression because if you follow me on social media, my husband and I have been very transparent about the miscarriages that we have experienced. And I realized that once that I took notice of someone that was pregnant with me this final time, that was preparing to have her baby, I slipped into somewhat of a level of depression. And I really had to face myself and ask God, what is going on with me? Why am I so low? And at that moment, I couldn't even allow my faith to push me through that depression. The fact that I had a loving husband couldn't push me through that depression. The fact that I had a loving 9-year-old couldn't push me through that depression. But what I had to do is to look at all of the other great things that were happening in my space. And so for those of you who suffer with depression, I know that it is a daunting task. I understand because I've been where you are. But sometimes we have to step back and we have to look at all the other great things that are happening in our space. And for those of you who are around people who are always smiling and laughing and joking, we need to sometimes check on that strong friend. Give them permission to say, you know what, I'm not feeling at my best that time. Now, I'm grateful that I do have people in my space that I can literally say, you know what, I'm depressed right now. And they can talk to me and minister to me and help me to get through that level of depression. But for those of you who don't have that person around you, I encourage you, at that moment you feel at your lowest, just start to write, write all the reasons that you feel that sadness, and write all the great things that has happened in your life. And I promise you, at the end, the good will outweigh the bad. And unfortunately, some of us don't make it on the other side of that list to be able to stand victorious and to say, I made it through my depression. But for those of you who are listening, those of you who are struggling with depression, I encourage you to start writing even in this moment. Write down all the good things that are happening in your life, and I promise you, they will outweigh the bad, because the best is yet to come. God has some great things in store for you, and that's why the enemy wants to keep you downtrodden and depressed, because of what's in store for you on the other side. So I encourage you to hold on another day, hold on another moment, make it through another week, and on the other side, God will reveal himself to you. This is Kelly Avid with Fresh Inspirational Mornings with Mikkel. The best is yet to come. Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers.